Hi guys, what's up? I'm so tired right now because I just started summer school and so far it's been brutal. Yeah. Anyways, for those of you that don't know, right now I'm doing a certificate that is completely online, which means that all of my courses are online. I don't have a teacher in front of me to teach me stuff, so I'm teaching myself everything. Yep, and it's hard because when you don't understand, you don't have anyone to help you with that, alright? You're just on your own. And a lot of my friends, colleagues, family members were thinking of taking online classes, online courses, and they asked me, how do I succeed, right? How do I stay focused? So in this video, I'll just share with you some tips that I have on succeeding online school. Here we go. Alright, so first thing first, you need to learn how to manage your time. I highly suggest you to invest in a planner, like the one that I have is the Happy Planner, and I love it. Basically, I have two spreads, the monthly one and the weekly one. This is my monthly spread. It's basically an overview of everything that I have to do during the month, school-wise. So all the due dates that I have, all the exams that I have. So anything that's important, it's basically in red. And then I have my weekly spread. So I'm not only a student, I also work part-time to pay my tuition and to pay rent, pay bills, all right, like everybody else. So basically everything that's in blue is my work schedule. Right now I work from home, so right now I'm just writing down all the meetings that I have, the conference call that I have to assist. And as you can see in green, it's basically my school schedule. So the way that my school work is that every online class are at night, so you can work during the morning. And for example, Monday, I have a class at 7 p.m. So I would just write down all the chapters that I have to read for that day. If I have any assignment dues, I would write it down so I know what I have to get done for that day specifically. One of the difference between online school and going to school in person is that you don't have a time frame for your learning. So basically, you're learning at your own pace. Aside from your exams and assignment due dates, your quiz, you don't have any time limit. And that can be hard for some people because they just assume that they can always put off their work and they'll just catch it up later on before the exam. And they end up basically cramming all of the subject the day before the exams, and they often fail because of that. One of the tips that I have to avoid putting off things always to the last minute is pretend that you have classes on certain days. For example, on Monday, pretend that you have a class at 5 and that you need to have read, for example, chapter 1 for that day, and then for the next Monday, you need to have read chapter 2 for 5 o'clock, just like our normal student would do when they go to class and see the professor. They need to have read certain things for certain dates. So basically, do the same thing, pretend that you're going to class. That way, you don't need last minute cramming session to learn all the subject in like a few hours before your exam. Second tip, learn how to prioritize. Honestly, that's one of the things that I have the most difficulty with. Alright, I don't know how to deal with myself, to be honest. I'm a mess. Like, just like everybody else, I have a life. Sometimes I want to go out, I want to go eat, I want to go on dates. But like, remember that you might have exams coming up, you might have a team project coming up, and remember what's your number one priority. You want to finish school, right? You want to succeed. So stay home and study. Don't find yourself excuses when you're telling yourself that you need to go do the dishes. Because listen, Jessica, okay, your dishes are still going to be there tomorrow. Alright? So sit your ass down and go study. Okay? Just remember, you don't want to be doing that class all over again next semester because you failed your exam. Alright? Moving on to the third tip, staying motivated. I know it might be hard for some people to stay motivated while studying, especially if you've been studying for like long hours or that you feel like you've been doing your degree for like forever. That's all right, because I'm the same. Okay, I am one of those people. I'm struggling to stay motivated, but that's all right, because I have a tip for that. All right, so set yourself a goal. Don't just tell yourself a goal in your mind. Write it down somewhere you can see it all the time, like a vision board, and remind yourself of why you're doing this. Basically, for me, I'm studying management because eventually I want to have my own business and I need to know how to manage it, right? So I keep reminding myself of that. And if it's too hard for you, because it's like in a long, long time, for example, if you're doing a PhD and you still have, I don't know, like 10 years of studies, set yourself some small goals that you can achieve easily. For example, today I'm telling myself that I want to read chapter 1 and that tomorrow I'll read chapter 2. If you can do that, then you'll feel more accomplished, right? Because it's small achievement that keeps piling up and makes you feel like you're advancing in life. Well, at least it works for me. So yeah. Time for tip number 4. Find your perfect study spot. It sounds stupid, but hear me out. I see a lot of students following their friends at the library, for example, to study, and since they don't feel comfortable at a library because it's too, I don't know, silent, they just end up not doing anything. For me, for example, I like studying at cafes because I like ambient noise, and I feel like when I'm in the cafe, I have nothing else better to do than like study. Whereas when I'm home, there's a lot of distraction. I see my bed, and like it makes me want to take a nap for 8 hours and just never wake up. All right. So find your perfect spot to study, somewhere where you're comfortable, you know you're not going to have any distraction. If there's nowhere you can do that because, for example, you live with your parents and your siblings are making a lot of noise, get yourself some earphones, just like me, all right? You can put some study playlist and just like find something to help you focus when you're studying. Just like I'm doing right now, I'm playing some study playlist on Apple Music. So here you go. That's tip number 4. Number 5, snacks and drinks. So I know some of you are gonna be like, that's stupid. What kind of tip is this? Listen, if you've been studying for 8 hours and then you're starting to feel your energy lowering, you want to have something to boost your energy, right? So for me right now, I'm obsessed with iced coffee and tea. So I'm making myself an iced coffee here so I can study for a long time and feel energized. All right? Do not underestimate food and drinks. Okay? Also, if you're like me, sometimes I'm so focused in my studies that I forget completely to drink water. And then it gives me like big headaches and I just can't study anymore. So, just having that cup of water next to you or that cup of coffee can get you going for a few more hours, alright? Do not underestimate the power of food. Thank you. Tip number 6. Take some breaks. Basically, your brain can only concentrate and focus for a certain amount of time. This is why when you're in class, usually your teacher give you like a 10-15 minute breaks if you have like a 3 hour long lecture. That's because your brain cannot take it anymore and it's going to be brain dead. It cannot retain any more information. So what you can do when you study is, for example, every 30 minutes or every hour, take a 10-minute break to refresh. And then when you're going to get back to your studying, you're going to be able to take more information in and you're going to be able to study for a longer time. In my case, what I do is that every 10 pages that I read, I give myself a 10-minute break. That way I can go longer. And yeah, that's tip number 6. 7. Give yourself a study structure. So in my school, at least, the way online class work is that you have to read your book, watch some videos about the subject, and do your exercises, and then you have your quiz. So the way that I do it is that if you take my example of Monday as a school day, I would read, for example, Sunday, the chapter that I need to read for Monday, and on Monday I would pretend that I go to class, as I mentioned earlier, and I would watch the videos on that day as if it was a teacher talking to me. All right, and then the exercises, I would keep them for the day or a few days before the quiz. That way it acts as a revision tool, because you learn best when you're in action, so when you're actually using your knowledge. So that's why I keep it for the last, and I just use it as a revision tool. Okay, so last tip. Usually in online classes, when you have exams, they allow you to have your books with you. So what I would do is that I would mark down with Post-it all the important pages and like sections that I need to know that are most likely to be like in the exams. That way I could just like find them easily and quickly. And as I mentioned in my previous tip, I would like keep all the practice quiz and exercises for the day before the exam. That way everything that I learned is still fresh in my memory, and I can do the exams without like looking too much at my book. That way I save time as well. And that's it for my last tip. So thank you for listening to my TED Talk on succeeding at online school. I hope that my video was somewhat helpful. If you have any question, feel free to just like leave a comment. I'll address it whenever I'm free, as soon as possible, hopefully. And I'll probably make a video on how I actually take notes for my class. So yeah, I'm just gonna end the video here because I am tired of listening to myself talk. So see ya. Have a good day.